Good morning, student. I welcome you to my class and I am going to teach you a new poem, A Tiger in the Zoo. And children, the poet is Leslie Norris. So in this children poem, I will be telling you something about the poet, then about the theme of the poem or the central idea of the poem, then in which style it is written. What is the style of the poem? Because very few poems have some certain style. And then the background and the important points of the poem. So this will be discussed by me today. So first of all, A Tiger in the Zoo is written by Leslie Norris. He is the poet. Now Leslie Norris was a famous poet. Famous Wales poet. What do you mean by Wales? That means he was from Wales, children. Wales. W-A-L-E-S. So he was a Wales. W-E-L-S-H. There is a difference between Wales and Wales. Okay. Wales. Wales is a place. It is a place, and Wales, okay, is the citizen of Wales. So this is a place and this is the citizen of it. So he was from Wales and he was a Wales poet. Try to understand. Wales is a place. Wales are the citizen of that place. Okay. So Leslie Norris was a famous Welsh poet and short story writer. So he used to write poem and he used to write short stories. He was born in 1921 in Wales. Leslie Norris had decided even at an early age that he would become a poet. So when he was a small child, then only he had decided that he would become a poet. He was very much interested in the poem of Dylan Thomas and Vernon Watkins. So children, there were two poets, okay, and when he used to read their poem, he felt those poems are the most interesting poem. And who were the poets? Dylan Thomas and Vernon Watkins. His first poem was published in 1938, but his first book of poetry came out in 1943. So children, too late, 1938 he had written the poem that was published, but the book which was published, it came out in 1943. In July 1942, Norris married Catherine, better known as Kitty. They moved to England and trained themselves to be a teacher. So he and his wife Catherine, they started training of a teacher. Okay, he shot to fame with his first publication, Finding Gold. Children, but when his book was published, his one book whose name was Finding Gold, when this book was published, okay, he became very famous. His work won various awards including the Cholmondeley Poetry Prize and Catherine Mansfield Memorial Award. So these two awards were given to him. First was Cholmondeley Poetry Prizes and Catherine Mansfield Memorial Award. And children, he died in 2006. So this is all about the writer. Now, A Tiger in the Zoo. So this is a poem, and let me tell you about the central idea of the poem, that what really the poet want to say to you. So the tiger, we all have seen tigers, a proud creature of forest. It is a shame that such a powerful, agile and untamable animal should be caged in a zoo. So such a powerful creature, according to him, should not be caged in a zoo. In his natural and wild habitat, he doesn't need help of any kind to hunt its own food. Now children, he lives in a natural surrounding, he lives in a wild habitat, and when he lives, he doesn't need the help of any animal for his food. He is quite dependent on himself. His hunting of deer at the water hole may seem rather cruel. People say that in a very cruel manner he jumps upon the deer. When the deer comes near the water hole to drink water, he kills them. It seems very cruel to him, but he hunts not for his pleasure but for food. But children, we must know this is a food chain is there, and he is not hunting like human being for his pleasure. He is hunting for his food, and that is a necessary. His presence in the natural habitat is necessary to maintain the balance of food chain. So children, he kills a deer, and children, his presence in the natural habitat is necessary to maintain the balance of food chain. Sometimes the tiger may stray into human habitation. Sometimes when he is very hungry and he don't find deer to eat, he goes for to human habitation. He only display his strength and ferociousness. There children, he could not kill other, he only could display his strength and ferociousness. But he doesn't harm anyone till he is provoked. There, and if he is very hungry, then he kill the cattle. Otherwise, he doesn't harm anyone, only his main until he is provoked to do so. Even in the cage, he ignores all those who come to the zoo to see him as an entertainment. Now children, he is a proud creature, and when some people come to see him, he does not pay much attention. Like if you will see chimpanzees and other animal, they try to entertain the human beings. There are many animals who will come near to the to human beings. They will take the food from their hand, but he never cares for any human being. Like human being, the tiger too loves and values his freedom. He is a lover of his freedom. Just like human being, he values his freedom. He shows his anger, hatred, and even defiance by walking about in rage in his cage. So children, he walks in the cage to show his angriness, his hatred for the human being, and sometimes even defiance by walking about in rage in his cage. Human progress should not be at the cost of destroying the natural habitat. So children, now the writer want to say that we human things, we are very powerful, we are very making progress, but it should not be done at the cost of destroying the natural habitats of untamable and proud animals like the tiger. So we should not catch him and take him to the zoo. We should respect such a powerful animal. Now children, the poem consists of 5 stanzas. Each is made up of 4 lines. If you will see the poem, you can see 5 stanzas are there, and it is made up of 4 lines. The rhyme scheme is ABCD, ABCB, 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 ABCB. So children, if you will see the rhyme scheme of the whole poem, what is the rhyme scheme? ABCB. Okay, this is the rhyme scheme of the poem. So the whole poem consists of 5 stanzas. Each is made of 4 lines, and the rhyme scheme is A, B, C, B. This is the rhyme scheme of each and every stanza. And I hope you know how to find the rhyme scheme. Otherwise, we can discuss in the online class. The poem has 2 distinct settings. The first setting is that of the zoo, where the tiger is put in a cage. So children, 2 setting is there. First setting is of a zoo, okay, where the tiger is put in the cage. The second setting is that of the natural wild habitat of the tiger, which should have been his real place. Now children, 2 setting is there. In first setting, he is telling about the tiger when he is put in a cage, but his habitat is the forest where he is telling. The second setting is that of the natural wild habitat of the tiger, which should have been his real place. Now children, the personification of the tiger is evident as the poet calls him he. So children, it is evident he is being personified because he is being called he and not it. The metaphor pads of velvet is used effectively in the third line of the first stanza. The tense tone represents the hidden rage of the tiger. And children, when we will read the poem, we feel that the tiger is very angry because such a powerful animal is put in the cage. So now I will be telling you about the children short summary. Okay, short summary. Now I will be telling you all the important background of the poem. So, walks in quiet rage. Walks in quiet, Q-U-I-E-T. Rage is, what is the meaning of rage? Angriness. So, the dweller of the forest is forcefully put in a cage. Who is the dweller? Children, the person who lives in the forest. So who is the dweller here? It is the tiger, not human being. We don't live in the forest. It is the tiger who is the dweller. That means who is living in the forest. Is forcefully put in a cage. The tiger is caged in a zoo. There in his artificial habitat. And children, he is caged. Now that tiger, he is being caged. That means he has being put in the cage in a zoo, and that is his artificial habitat. Now children, that habitat means where he lives is an artificial habitat. His natural habitat is the forest where he is, from where he is caught. He walks in quiet rage. He is very angry. He is very angry, and children, he is walking angrily. The stripes on his body are very distinct and can be easily seen. Now children, I think you have seen the tiger. Okay, yellow color, royal look with a black stripes on its body. So those stripes on his body are very distinct. That means it can be clearly, it is very distinct. Okay, and it can be clearly seen. The stripes are darker in color than the rest of his coat. We all know children, the stripe of a tiger is a brownish, dark brown and blackish in color. Okay. The tiger moves very softly and quietly with his pads of velvet. Now children, I will explain you while teaching the poem what is a pads of velvet. Pad is the lower portion of his feet, and it is so soft like the velvet. I will be telling you when I will be teaching you doing the explanation of the poem. But the range of his movement is limited. Children, the range of his movement is very limited. Why? Because he is locked in a particular space. That space is very short. He used to take long step when he was in a forest, but now he is locked in a small space like the cage of the zoo. So there he could not take longer steps. He goes on moving around within the confines of his cage. Now children, he is locked, and within that area he is moving. The tiger does not relish the stare of the onlookers in the zoo. His rage or anger is suppressed. Now children, he doesn't care whoever are coming and looking at the tiger. They want that he should pay attention on them, but children, he doesn't. He's so angry that he never is paying attention on the onlooker. That means a person who are coming to see the tiger in the zoo. Now second point, he should have been in his natural habitat. He should have been in his natural habitat. So in the first stanza, children, it is there that he is animal of the forest, and he's confined in a limited place, that is a cage in the zoo, and he's very angry. The person who are coming to see him, he's not paying attention to them. Now my second point is that he should have been in his natural habitat. The poet mourns that the zoo is not the rightful place of the tiger. Now children, here the poet is angry with the human being, and he is children ready, he is ready to say that that place is not a rightful place of the tiger. He should have been in the forest in his natural habitat. He is a denizen of the citizen. That means he is the denizen. That means he is the denizen of the. He is the citizen of the jungle. His real place is in his wild. Had he had been in the wild, he would have been lurking around its shadow. So he is telling if he should have been in the forest, and he should, from where he should be lurking around its shadows. He must have been sliding quietly through the long grass to ambush his kill, and he would be running in the long grass to kill his children, to kill his prey, to kill the animals like deer, okay, to eat. He should be using the long grass and shadows as necessary cover to keep his movement undetected. And children, that long grass and dark shadow, children, is always helping him to hide before. His movement should be undetected. These two, the darkness and the long grass, protects him from being seen from those animals, or by those animals who are going to be killed by him. He would know where he could get his favorite hunt, the plum deer. His favorite hunt is the plum deer. He know where he would get it. Generally it is near water hole only. He should approach the water hole quietly where animals and deer come to drink water. So he should approach the water hole quietly where animal and deer come to drink water. Now my third point is terrorizing the village. Had the tiger been in the forest, sometime he would stray into human settlement. Children, now he is locked in a cage, so the writer is telling if he would have been in the forest, so sometime he would come quietly where the human beings live, near the human settlement. He would stray around for the outskirt of the village, and he would be moving around the outskirt of the village. These human settlements are at the jungle edge. So these human settlements, they are at the jungle edge. On seeing the villager, he would open his long sharp teeth and claws to terrorize the resident. So children, on seeing the villagers, he would open his long sharp teeth and claws to terrorize the resident. Resident means the people who live in the village. But it would be just to show up power and strength to the villager. Children, he don't want to kill the villager. He just want to show his power, okay, and wanted to prove that he is very brave, equally brave than human being. He want to show his strength and power to the villagers. He would have no intention of killing the villager and entering their house. No, he don't want to kill them. The fact is that he only want to show them for his power. He don't want to kill them. He don't want to enter in their houses. The poet tried to say that generally the tiger never attacks till he is highly provoked. He only attacks human being when he is highly provoked, or when he feels that they are going to kill him. Killing is not his hobby, but only the necessity of his food. Now at the same time, the writer is supporting him. He is telling him killing is not his hobby, but it is, children, necessary of his food. So now the fourth point and the fifth point I'm going to write it. So the fourth point is that alas, the tiger is not in his natural habitat. Fourth point, it is sad that the tiger is not in his natural habitat. Unfortunately, he is locked in a concrete cell of a zoo. So children, it is bad luck that he has been caught, and there is a concrete cell in the zoo, which is known as so-called zoo. His powerful and strong body is of no use to him as he is put behind the bar. Children, he is feeling very helpless. His strength and his powerful body proved to be useless here as he is put behind the bars in the cage of the zoo. His movements have been limited. Children, his movements have been limited. He is continuously moving about the length and breadth of his cage. What he is doing, children, he is continuously moving here and there. He is moving. His movement have been limited. He is continuously moving about the length and breadth of the cage. He doesn't relish the curious stare of the visitor. He is not enjoying the staring, the people who are staring to him. He simply ignores their presence. And what he is doing, children, he is simply ignoring their presence. Remain awake still late at night. So children, fifth point is remains awake till late at night. Now children, that tiger, his freedom is lost. He is feeling helpless, though he is a powerful creature of the forest. He never caused much harm to human being, but then he is caught and he is locked in the zoo. The poet describes how the day ends for the tiger. He doesn't go to sleep till the late hours of the night, and he is so worried that children, he keeps on moving or he sits at one place. He sleeps till the late hours of the night. He hears the sound of the cars of the zoo official patrolling at night. What does he do during the night? He could hear the children, the cars of the zoo officially patrolling at night. The stars shine brightly in the sky, and so do his brilliant eyes at night. Two things are shining in the sky in the night. One is the tiger's eyes and other are the stars. He is constantly looking at the brilliant star. Alas, he watches the brilliant star only behind the bars of his cage. He is watching the brilliant stars only behind the bars of his cage. Okay, so children, this is all the important points here we have discussed, and now I will be telling you some of the important point of the poem. So let's start, children. My first point is tiger is not in his natural habitat. Tiger is not in his natural habitat. Second, the wilds or the jungle in the natural habitat of the tiger. The jungle is the natural habitat of the tiger, and now he is not in his natural habitat. He has been locked, he has been caught, and he has been locked in the zoo. Unfortunately, the denizen of the forest has been confined to a caged habitat in a zoo. Now children, it is his bad luck. It is unfortunate that such a powerful creature of the forest, he is a denizen, he is a citizen of the forest, has been confined in a cage. He has been locked in a zoo. Fourth, he is no more free to roam about in the forest, but walks within the length and breadth of his cage. Now children, he is not living in the forest. He walks within the length and breadth of his cage. He has dark spots on his skin which are clearly visible even from a distance. What do you mean by dark spots, children? Here the dark spot is the darkest brown stripes upon the tiger, and which is dark stripes can be easily visible from the distance also. Content to live in his cage, he walks around quietly with his velvety soft face. Children, he is walking in a very velvety soft feet. That means, children, the skin under the feet is soft like velvet. He is angry but has to suppress it. He is very angry but he is suppressing his anger. Why, children, he is suppressing his anger? He is suppressing his anger because children, he know that people will laugh at him, and it is no use to show his angriness because he will be remaining in the zoo only. Nobody will take him out to the natural habitat. In his quiet rage, he continues walking up and down his caged habitat. Now, children, he is so angry that he walks up and down in his caged habitat. The poet imagined how the tiger should behave if he is in his natural habitat, the wild jungle. Now, children, the poet is imagining how the tiger should behave if he would have been in the wild jungle in his natural habitat. There he should be silently hiding himself in the shadow, remains unnoticed. So he is imagining that he should be hiding himself in the shadows, children, shadows of the forest or the dark trees, or he should be hiding in a long grass unnoticed. Sliding through the long grass, he should move stealthily to ambush his prey, and from there, children, after hiding in a long grass, he would attack his prey. That means, what is the meaning of prey? P-R-E-Y, this prey. Not P-R, this prey, not this one. Prey means the animals which he is going to kill. He knows where he can find his kill in the wild. He is very much aware that where he should go to kill the animal. Like he knows, children, that like near the water hole the deer comes to drink water. His favorite hunt is the plump deer which he can find near the water hole. Now, children, here the poet is talking about his food. His favorite food is the plump deer which he can find and hunt near the water hole. When there is plump deer, they come to drink water. He hides in a long grass and then he attacks to them. Sometimes he comes out of the forest and stray in human settlement at the edge of the jungle. So sometimes he comes out of the forest also and he goes to a village where there is a human settlement at the edge of the jungle. 15. There he terrorized the villagers by opening out his wide fangs or the long teeth and the claws. And still he feels pleasure to frighten the villagers by showing his long teeth and strong claws. His ferocious look frightens the village, and children, villagers, they are really frightened when they see his look. However, he has no intention of entering the village and killing anybody till he is highly provoked. Now, here the poet is mentioning that intentionally he don't want to kill any human being. He only wants to frighten them. He only kills the human being until he is provoked to do so. Unfortunately, the mighty tiger is cursed to live in a concrete cell in the zoo. Now, children, the writer is feeling pretty that such a strong animal who loves freedom and who never kills human beings, such a strong animal is caught and he is put in a concrete cell in the zoo. Many visitors come to see him in the zoo, but he doesn't like the stares of the visitor. Now he is telling many visitors to come and see him, but he doesn't like that they should look at him. He simply ignores their presence. In fact, he ignores them. He never cares them. He never looks at them like the other animal, like chimpanzee and all those animals. Now he is made to limit his movement only to the length and breadth of his cage habitats. Now children, he is made to limit the movements only to the length and breadth of his cage habitat. The tiger keeps awake till late in the night. He hears the noise of the patrolling cars moving around in the zoo. The brilliant star shines in the sky and his brilliant eye shines in the night. He can't free himself, but he keeps on watching the brilliant star standing behind the bar of his caged animals. Now children, he can't free himself, and he is so angry that he keeps on watching the brilliant star standing behind the bar of his cage habitat. So this is all children. This was all the important point of the children of this poem. Now in my next video I will be doing the explanation of this poem and telling you about the new words meaning. So now I conclude my video here. Thank you and have a nice day ahead.